there. Good to be with you all on a hump of the week, Wednesday. Lots to discuss.
Looks like a fine place to start business. Let's begin with the Senate confirming the CBN Governor Yemi Cardoso and 4 others. Let's speak to this one. It's been confirmed, but it looked on the day when it was confirmed, the NLC, the TUC, they've announced they're going on strike. The Naira also took a blow also. So it just seemed like this man is not going to have a reprieve as he's starting.
Yeah, he's not. The Senate confirmation hearing was, I thought, quite entertaining. You had Senator Oddiri telling him that he shouldn't go and try to grow rice, that he should be focused on monetary policy. You had, of course, the Senate President Akpabio saying that he hopes he's not going to run for president and decorate buses with his pictures. He hopes he's not going to engage in a Naira redesign policy 14 days and give people 14 days before an election, try to mess up the election. Just kept bringing up all the ills of the last CBN governor as he was questioned on a range of things, not just rice, not just elections, but also about interest rates, inflation, and a number of things. For his part, Cardoso said, well, you know, inflation of those costs has partly been due to monetary policy, high money supply in the system, and that they want to do what they can to try to rein that in. He said the exchange rate is a problem. They have to focus on that. So, I mean, he said the usual things. Him and his deputies have been confirmed. How much can he do, Omas? That's the question here, because there's a backlog which he acknowledged that the CBN has liabilities that it owes. He said he doesn't know how much in total is being owed. He'll find out. But they need to clear that backlog. The only way you can clear that backlog, whether it's $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 billion that they owe, you've got to find dollars from somewhere. FX has to come into Nigeria. So I wish him luck, because it's going to be a job that also requires the fiscal side of the coin to do something to attract foreign exchange to come into the country. So he's, the next thing now is we need to have a rescheduled monetary policy committee meeting that was postponed, which was supposed to happen on Monday and Tuesday of this week. So that was postponed because of his confirmation. So they've confirmed him now. And so the next thing we want to hear is the new meeting. And then that's going to be a thorough meeting as far as the press conference that follows, because there's going to be a lot. He has to go through the books, and we expect, a transparent CBN that's going to tell us what are the reserves, how much are you owing, what is the obligations that are being owed, what do you plan to do to improve, to manage FX, and so on and so forth. So a lot ahead for Dr. Olayemi Michael Cardoso. But we hope that now that we've got a new central bank governor, also they also asked him about independence. Will he be able to tell the president no when it comes to loans to the government? Well, although they've already increased the, what is it now? The ways and means cap. What can be borrowed to, what can be lent to the federal government, which is an acknowledgement that there's a revenue crunch. So a lot for him, ahead for him, but what I'm waiting for now, we all need to hear this rescheduled. Maybe today is already Wednesday. Maybe they reschedule it for next Monday and Tuesday, although I think today is a holiday, isn't it?
For Eid al-Maulud, and then there's also the nation's independence celebration will be falling next week. So it's holiday, and I guess probably it might be the week after. But my question now, the question I have for you, speak on his term. The term is got, and then also link that to the fact that out goes a banker, in comes a banker, and then marry that to the fact that it's also been said, why can't we have an economist to head the CBN?
Yeah, he's got a 5-year term, which will end 2028. And yeah, well, the whole banker thing, yeah, I would have liked an economist as well, but Cardoso's got a lot of experience. I mean, he's got decades of experience in the banking sector, and based on his answers to questions yesterday, he seems to have a good grasp of the issues. So yeah, I mean, I'm obviously biased towards having an economist there. So there's that part of the debate. But really, what are we talking about here? Your job is just to maintain price stability, which is to control inflation, interest rates, try to get more credits to the economy and so on. So yeah, I would have liked an economist, but it is what it is. You know, we've got somebody who's been in the banking sector for a long time. He understands the system, and we hope he can deliver at that first meeting. So we need to know when is the next Monetary Policy Committee meeting, and he's going to answer a lot of questions from the media at that meeting.
This takes us to our clients this morning would like to get their response onto 0809-444-0981, 0809-444-0981 as WhatsApp messages. And we drift away now to the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. They've issued the knowing going back. It's going to be the grandfather and grandmother of all strikes we've seen, no going back. Why is it this difficult to pacify the labor, and so we can at least have industrial harmony?
Well, they're saying the government has failed in its dialogue with them. They're saying that the government has not negotiated in good faith. They're saying that the government is pushing Nigerians into suffering as a result of the removal of fuel subsidies. And they're saying their demands so far have not been met. There was a warning strike. I could have sworn they were supposed to go on strike midnight Tuesday. But now it sounds like it has been pushed back by a week, which essentially gives the government 7 more days to, if you want to count the public holiday next week, 7 more days to negotiate with them. So that's why they are embarking on this strike. Is it going to go through? Is it going to be impactful? The warning strike didn't really, I didn't really see that much compliance with the warning strike. The warning strike last time. Some of the demands, I don't know, Omas. They want to go back. They said, take everything back. So take us back to 185 naira per liter. Take everything back to the status quo. Negotiate from the beginning. They say, I think the palliatives are not effective enough or something to that effect. Minimum wage to be increased. That one, I understand that one. But, you know, it's funny. This is coming at a time where Joe Biden in America was striking with the United Auto Workers, the UAW union in Michigan. Just yesterday, he became the first president in U.S. history to join a protest with, now, of course, he did it for the optics because he said there's an election next year. Yeah. He says he's a union president. But the difference there is that those unions in America are protesting against the private sector, against Ford and GM and Stellantis, saying they want better pay. They are worried about electric cars, which are cheaper to build than your standard fuel guzzling car. So they are worried about their jobs. So that gives him the room to join them, protest. Meanwhile, the situation here, you have the unions protesting against the government directly and asking the government to increase pay and asking the government to. So you can see the difference between two economies where you've got a robust private sector that is able to absorb unions and a government here in Nigeria that still has a large workforce and has to deal with unions and pay increases and all these things. So yeah, that's what we're seeing with Labour, but you know, how effective is it going to be? We'll find out next week if the government doesn't intervene. Because I know Solomon Lalong was a former Minister of Youth and Sports, was he not?
Lalong was the governor somewhere in Plateau.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm mixing him up.
You're mixing it with Solomon. Solomon, the other man who wears the beret.
Okay. That's what I'm mixing him up with. Thank you. So yeah, so now he's the Minister of Labor or something. So he said that they should not strike and they should dialogue. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes with the Lalong.
It's interesting to see how the NUC wasn't on the same page with the NLC for that 2-day warning strike they had. But we see that there was a joint conference address now to say this royal strike will go on. But at the time where we hear that the president is supposed to make some pronouncement on awards in terms of concessions, in terms of pay increase for federal workers, isn't that one would have thought they should wait for that to happen and then before the strike goes on?
Well, I mean, that's the essence of negotiation, right? But they're saying not all their demands were met. So I think they're looking for more. They're not satisfied with what has been provided. And that does make things very interesting. But look, again, that strike was supposed to happen at midnight it was supposed to happen already. So I don't know. So delay it 7 days. I think their credibility is kind of shaky at this point. But let's see what happens.
Okay, final one. You brought this one up yesterday. So as usual, one would ask, some listeners will be very interested to know what has happened to this woman who, out of going to the market to get tomato paste for stew to balance the deficit of tomato that you can't find, so you have to augment it, now turned into something that would end up in the police custody. But what's the latest in that regard, please?
Yeah, the FCCP head, Mr. Babatunde Rukera, he's put out a tweet saying that she's been released. We finally have her name. He just gave us a last name, a surname of this lady. Is it Egbom? What is the name that he puts in his tweets, saying that she's finally regained her freedom. Miss Egodi, grateful for the restoration of Miss Egodi's liberty, but determined to ensure we never walk this path again. Criminality in commerce is an exception. Our society cannot endure under the threat of fear that fair expressions, when properly so, can become subject of law enforcement. So the next thing now is how a message is sent to this company, because a summons was issued to them. I don't know if they responded to it. We haven't heard from the police. What did you determine was the criminal offense caused by this Facebook post where she was reviewing? So at least she's been released. So now the next thing is we need to hear from the police. And my word, this woman needs to sue these people. So we'll have to see what happens. Well, we haven't heard from her yet. We'll see what happens going forward.
There's enough time to get in some messages from our clients this morning. I've got to Chukwu from Surulere saying, I just see the questions that they asked Cardoso during his confirmation as jokes. Those asking him whether he will be able to tell the president no. Will they themselves be able to tell the president no if he makes an order? The president appointed the Senate president, and he also appointed the CBN governor, who can stand tall and say no to his order. Sunday to Chukwu from Surulere.
Sunday, real quick. So the central bank is supposed to remain completely independent of all bodies. It's its own. The president cannot tell the central bank what monetary policy rates to apply, cannot tell the central bank what exchange rates to pay. It is supposed to be independent. So the point of asking that question was, are you going to be an independent central bank? That's how it's supposed to be across the world, but unfortunately, it's not all the time.
And then comes in this one from Cisco Delgado: the most unserious organization or union is the Nigerian NLC. They always embark on strike action without fruitful results. Cisco Delgado. Gilbert drops this one in for us. From Festac. On the appointment of the new CBN governor, it will be a great benefit to support existing small and medium-scale businesses and investigate reasons some vibrant SMEs fail or shut down from 2000 till date. I've got Benga Kamu has a message here for us. Lalong, yes, was the governor of Plateau State and Labor Minister currently. You see your clients, they're always there.
They got it.
So, Rotus,
I mixed it up with Dalong. I mean, what's your
name? Solomon Dalong.
Okay, sorry. So there was Dalong and Lalong. Sorry. Okay, thank you.
The Shagovera looking kind of sports minister back in the day.
Yeah, who did nothing for youth or sports. Yeah, I remember him.
It's a wrap, Rotus.
Omas, thank you so much. Thank you guys for your messages. I will catch you all on the flip side. Take it easy.
All right, Rotus, do have a great day. And that's a wrap on Business Express. My name is Omatseye Atsenuwa. Good morning.
Express brought to you by Atsenuwa. Transaction